Hi, this is Jeffrey Childs, one of the hosts of The Cheap Seats. Thanks for listening to our show on Public House Media.
Hi, this is Baxter Colburn, host of the Verse of the Day podcast here on Public House Media. Once you're done with this episode, I hope you'll come check out my show, Verse of the Day, where we take a look at real-world experiences and applications to one Bible verse every Monday through Friday as we get an idea of what it looks like to be a little bit better of a Christian and how we can make this world a better place, one verse at a time. I hope you'll join me every single Monday through Friday right here on Public House Media. I hope you'll subscribe by going to Apple Podcasts or wherever you find good podcasts as well. Once again, thanks for tuning in to the following broadcast here on Public House Media.
A golfer wears 2 pairs of pants in case he gets a hole-in-one. My Uncle Larry wears 2 pairs of pants in case he gets one in the hole. Welcome to Completely Serious. That catchphrase was sent to us by high school quarterback and professional rapper Post Mahomes. Thank you, Post, for that little contribution. A little something or other to get us going today. Welcome to Completely Serious. Glad you're inside. Take a seat. What a show we have for you today. This is the first show of May, and that is not an alternative fact. That is true. This is the first ever Completely Serious podcast, the show where we have fun and talk sports, ever recorded in the month of May. I'll get to who I am in a second. I'll get to my first guest in just a second. I will also get to my second guest in about 600 seconds, if you can wait until then. I promise you, you won't be disappointed. But here on Completely Serious, we like to start with the main attraction first. The guy you downloaded the podcast to hear, we're bringing him back, the sports guy, DC Ackerman. DC, how are you doing? I'm your host, Ryan Piers.
I'm doing fantastic. Mr. Was it Mahomes?
Oh, Post Mahomes was our contribution this week.
Post Mahomes, what a modern day poet that guy is.
Yeah, that was really good. I'm not really sure what he was getting at with that second part. The first part, though, I like. The one about the golfer wearing, in case, I know DC, you get it, but in case you don't get it, you the listener, he said a golfer wears 2 pairs of pants in case he gets a hole-in-one. It's a wordplay because a hole-in-one is something you do in golf, and then if you get a hole-in-one of your pants, you want to have an extra pair of pants. I think that's what he was trying to get at there, actually.
I think it's just sage advice. You have to be an older man to fully grasp it. I think eventually there will come a time in your life where you go, oh, that's what Mahomes was saying.
That's what he was saying. And the second part about in case you get one in the hole, that one I don't get, but I think you're right. I think maybe it's one of those things where experience will reveal to you what he was actually trying to say.
Sure, just a sage wisdom.
DC, you have such a great man cave. It's really legendary. We've talked about it on the podcast in the past. You often bring people down to your man cave, usually voluntary for a good time. And for the unlucky few people who have not been down there, I want you to paint a picture for them. This beautiful man cave that you have.
So it's like my fish story. Every time you tell the story, the size of my screen gets bigger. It's like eventually it's going to be like, so you have a 96-foot screen. I'm running a drive-in movie theater in my basement now. No, but we've got a 120 inch screen down there, so we got all of the major sporting events up there. Cold beer on tap.
My goodness.
Which is really the main draw. It's not me or even the sports. People just come to drink the beer.
So you're saying you have a tap that you installed connected to, say, a keg of beer, and you pull said tap and the beer flows out.
Oh, yeah. Which
Wow.
has led to a second expensive hobby, like I needed another one, and which is collecting intricate tap handles.
Oh, okay.
Rare, hard to find tap handles. So just like in a bar, you got all these fancy tap handles.
What is your most rare of your tap handles that you have?
So there's an interesting one that only a few were made. Coors Light made a collegiate series that light up. The mountains turn blue on the tap handle. And this one, though, you'll like this. It's a University of Illinois, so it's got the Illini eye on it. And it's hard to find a whole lot of Illini stuff, even here in Illinois, because the Illini are just so bad at sports.
They're very bad
right now, which makes them super unpopular.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard to find anything. So there was not many of these made at all. I don't know that many of them made it outside the borders of Illinois, but I got one of them.
DC, what is here's an important question. Here's one. What is the greatest accomplishment in sports history? Not to put you on the spot, but I want you to spend about maybe 2 or 3 seconds thinking and just tell me, what is the greatest accomplishment in the history of sports?
This is an insane question. Growing up a Bulls fan, my first thought was Jordan winning 6.
Sure, that's pretty good.
That's huge.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is the most meaningful to the people of the generation, I think, but one of the most emotional and huge moments, I think, has to be the Miracle on Ice.
Oh, sure.
The do you believe in miracles? The USA beating the Soviets in the I think that was the semifinal around the Olympics, and then we went on to beat Finland or someone. But I think I'll go with that. I think I'll go with the Miracle on Ice.
That is a great accomplishment. You, like me, and you brought up Michael Jordan, a great NBA player. You, like me, are an NBA fan. Have you been enjoying the NBA playoffs?
This is a fantastic time of year because baseball's back and kind of getting to the point where we're kind of starting to see how these teams are shaping out. We've played a meaningful amount of baseball at this point. You've got the NHL playoffs and the NBA playoffs, which seem to take 7 months, but I'm okay with it because it's been a lot of really good action. Watching NBA playoff basketball, a lot of people hate on the NBA and they hate on regular season and stuff. But I think it's a great product. It's probably one of the better sports products out there right now.
It's so much fun. Yeah, it is a world product. It is high class. It's a ton of fun to watch. I think when you're an athlete and you beat a team so badly, like LeBron beat the Raptors. What do you do? I think there should be an extra prize. Like, it's not enough just to win the series or win a game. The team should sacrifice something to you like a god. They should give you a gift. There should be some sort of exchange from one team to the next if you lose by in a certain amount. I think the Raptors would qualify. What do you think if we're talking about this situation, they should have to give? Like, should Serge Ibaka have to give like a hand to Cleveland? Just cut off his hand and give it to him? Or is there something they can give to maybe kind of compensate for how badly they lost?
I think just the city of Toronto should give the Cavaliers, all the entire team, just like a lifetime supply of maple syrup or something historically Canadian. I don't know, free Drake concert tickets or
that's
something.
Good.
There should be something from the like before the Super Bowl, towns the mayors kind of wage bets against each other.
I love it.
If the Patriots lose, they got to send the opponent a bunch of Boston baked beans or whatever the heck. But I think it should be the same thing. I think the lifetime supply of maple syrup.
That's a great one. Unfortunately, between the time this podcast comes out and the time we are recording, not to talk too much shop here, much will have happened in the NBA. We have a couple days difference, so I'm going to pretend we know the Cavaliers have won. Let's just, for the sake of argument, the Pelicans and the Jazz advance, and the Cavaliers play the 76ers, because I'm at least 95% sure all of that's going to happen. Give me some predictions. What are your thoughts if the Pelicans and Jazz advance and then the Cavaliers play the 76ers? Who's winning those games?
I think that it's going to be – I would love to see so at the beginning of the playoffs, I really wanted a Cavs-Boston series.
Yeah.
Even though it looks like the
that
76ers are going to –
Yeah.
It
may happen. It may happen. We don't know yet. We don't know.
Right, because the 76ers started that series in a 3-0 hole to Boston, and they've
won one game.
Yeah, right. So,
but we're pretending they're going to win the whole thing because we're just going for it.
Sure. So let's pretend. Honestly, either one of those teams would make it an interesting series with the Cavs. Both of those, again, we get to watch great basketball. That's going to make for awesome television either way. I think that the Celtics, again, you're clearly not your pick. You're really rooting for the underdog here. But I think that the Celtics are, especially with Tatum, and unfortunately I get the extra kick in the pants as a Lakers fan here the last decade as far as watching. Tatum got picked right after Ball. So Lakers had the third pick, and then I think
it stings.
Tatum went third. Yeah, and to see him doing so much better. The guy's been good for like 23 points a night and 5 rebounds in the playoffs. He's just killing it.
It's kind of like when you have two girls and you pick one because you want to commit, and the other one finds this great guy, and then yours turns out to not be what you thought, and you can't go back. And it's a tough one to swallow sometimes.
It's like you speak from experience.
You know, these dating sites, they don't give you good scouting reports, and I think that was a problem with the Lakers. They just didn't have the right report on Jason Tatum.
You know what you need? Dating website general manager.
Really is a great business plan. Let's talk about this after the podcast, because I'm worried right now one of the handful of listeners is going to take this plan. And can we copyright this? Like, just say copyright and we copyright it, or is there like a legal process we have to go through to get that done?
No, I think we'll just email this to ourselves.
Oh, okay.
We'll just send it out. We'll just you just need to post this quick.
Yes.
And then it's cemented, I think.
Perfect. DC, I want you to imagine you are lost in a jungle and you have to find your way back to civilization. And we like to have these hypothetical scenarios on Completely Serious. You can pick 3 different skill sets or characteristics, so 3 skill sets, a characteristic from a professional athlete, any point in history, to have while you try to make it through this jungle. What do you pick and why? I'll give you a couple examples. For me, I'm taking Tiger Woods' nickname because it's Tiger, and I naturally assume he would be able to survive in a jungle because his nickname's Tiger. I am Theo Epstein's ability to build. He builds great franchises, and hopefully I can build a great hut or something like that to not die from the conditions or get eaten. And I'm taking Steph Curry's ability to catch fire. He catches fire while shooting sometimes, and hopefully I can start a fire. So those are my 3. Tiger's nickname, Theo Epstein's ability to build, and Steph Curry's ability to make a fire, to catch fire. DC, what characteristic from which athletes do you take, and why?
Love this question. So
I'm glad.
I am going to go the lean speed of Usain Bolt.
I love it.
I want some speed, especially if this is a thing where I'm trying to get out of the jungle. I don't want to be in there long.
You have creatures. Creatures are following you, hunting you. You want speed.
Right. Yeah. I gotta get away from the predators. Native tribes with poison arrows. Whatever I gotta get away from. I want to get away speedy. So I think a speedy dash time is going to help me out.
Yes.
I'd like to have reasonably good strength, a good buffness. So I'm thinking like if I could get like a kind of like a Manny Pacquiao physique, just these muscles in the right places, be able to fight my way through this brush and thick jungle. Maybe have that upper body strength to climb a tree, really scout out my position.
That's a great point. You can run as much as you want, but if you run the wrong way, you're not going to get out of the jungle. You need to be able to climb the tree to scout. I like that idea.
Sure. And then I think number 3. This is interesting.
Okay.
I would like to have a Bill Belichick mindset.
Oh, I like it.
Like a calm, cool, collected. Nothing's going to faze me. Nothing's going to freak me out while I'm in there. I'm going to hatch a plan, and we're going to stick to the plan. And I'm not going to stop for any press conferences along the way. I'm just going to go. I'm going to keep on course and survive my way through this jungle.
You have been on many podcasts, and I've never, ever asked you, very rudely have never asked you, to pick which athlete you would like to get a couple massage with. I think everyone wants to know. Yeah,
that's really rude of you because I think of this constantly.
I figured, yeah.
Actually, yeah. So, first name that came to mind is Tom Brady. Because I've never done a couples massage, but I feel like has done a lot of these. So he's going to make it really comfortable. He's an old veteran to the couples massage, so he's going to know exactly what's going on. He's going to be like, nope, just lay here, do this. This is how it works. We're going to be cool about this. He might crack a couple jokes, lighten the mood.
He's going to say, here come the hands around the curve. Get ready. Oh, here they are. Okay.
Right, yeah. He's gonna just kick off the UGG boots, and we're gonna put on some hot steamy towels, and really, really get into this. I guess I should have asked you this question. I should have asked you a clarifying question.
Sure.
Is this person, are they next to me while we're getting the massage, or are they giving me the massage?
That's a great question.
Change my answer.
And hypotheticals are very, very good to ask the questions. In my mind, I was picturing this person right next to you. So
Okay.
you are one of the massage tables, and the other one's in the other massage table. Let's go ahead and ask that twist on that question, though. What if this person is actually giving you the massage? Who do you pick? Is it still Tom Brady, or do you change course?
No.
Okay.
Because his hands are just too soft
rough.
and finely manicured. I don't think
okay.
No, not rough at all. I'm going the other way
sure.
with Tom.
I see.
No, I think here's who I want giving me the massage. I want Ronda Rousey giving me the massage.
She'd be good.
Yeah, and this isn't some kind of erotic
No, I get
Rousey,
you.
A fantasy here. I'm saying she is going to find the spots and work them out for sure. She's going to be like, you carry a lot of tension in your shoulders, crack, bow, and then it's going to be over. I'm going to be like, wow, all is right in the world again.
I'm worried she would just take your leg out of habit, not, as like she has a personal vendetta against you. I'm worried she would take your leg and put you in some sort of hold out just habitually, and you have to remind her, hey, Rhonda, we're not fighting. You're giving me a massage.
Yeah, tap out.
You'd have to tap out. Absolutely.
For comedy's sake, though, I will say this. This was the alternative, and I'll give my wife full credit for thinking of this. She's like, you should pick Maria Sharapova just because it would be funny if she made her tennis grunt like every time someone was massaging her back right next to you. I was like, that is brilliant. It would be endlessly frustrating as time went on.
That would not be the most relaxing massage, and I'm worried. I'm worried somebody from the outside, somebody from the outside would actually call the cops.
Empty lobby when you walk out of there easily. Yeah, and the lobby's emptied out. Everyone turned back in their numbers and said, yeah, I think we'll go down the street.
DC, I really appreciate it. It's always a pleasure. Thank you so much. We'll have you on sometime soon, definitely in the coming episodes. We have a great guest coming up next. But you have to stick through this promo to learn more. So do I. We're going to talk about him when we come back on Completely Serious. Do you drink liquids? Of course you do. That was a rhetorical question. Do you like to slurp liquid off the dining room table? Of course you don't. That was also a rhetorical question. So you need something to put your liquids in prior to ingestion. And I have just the thing for you. This will completely change the way you drink coffee. This will completely change your life. It's the Completely Serious mug. Yes, it's here, and you can only buy it in one place. pubhousemedia.storeenvy.com. I'll say it one more time, and I'll spell it http://pubhousemedia.storenvy.com/. It is the answer to all your problems. Beautifully designed, easy to hold, and microwavable. It's the perfect cup for your coffee, but it's great for milk, water, sports drinks, beer, wine, kerosene, so you can start a campfire or something. This is the cup for you, and I want you to have it for free. Yes, message me at the Completely Serious Facebook page, and I will get you your cup, your mug, for free. Only one person can get it. Back here on Completely Serious, not sure if you've heard, but this is the show where we have fun and talk sports. And big thanks to our sports guy, DC Ackerman, for swinging by. As promised, a very special guest is on the podcast today. One of the foremost writers on the NBA. Go to his Twitter account at Tim_Cato to realize what I've known for years now, that James Harden and Childish Gambino and Donald Glover are all the same person. They all three look exactly alike, and people have been telling me for years that's a conspiracy theory, but at Tim_Cato on Twitter proves it, which is one of at least a dozen reasons why I'm excited to bring on SB Nation NBA writer Tim Cato. Tim, people have asked me all the time what the SB in SB Nation stands for, and I tell them just go to the internet, you can find it in 5 seconds, but they keep asking me, so I will ask you to answer one of the podcast's most unsolved mysteries. What does that SB stand for?
I would say that there's two options. I would say that sports blog is probably nominally what SB Nation was founded on, because we are a collection of sports blogs. There are many SB Nation blogs out there, so I would say that is the probably the preferred one according to my most higher up bosses. But we also prefer sports butts because, if there's a good sports butt out there on the internet, we're also very good at tackling and, just really getting into those topics and investigating, just exactly what's going on there. So, I think that kind of sums up the whole gist of the site and, kind of what we find important. So, that's the running joke.
Very good. Well, you, the listener, can stop asking me. Tim has clarified. And Tim, you don't just write for SB Nation. You also have written a book. Am I right in saying that?
Yeah, it's called 100 Things Mavericks Fans Should Know and Do Before They Die. It's kind of a coffee table series that Triumph Publisher has done up in Chicago. And yeah, they got in contact with me a little while back, and I ended up writing about the Dallas Mavericks, and in fact, 100 things that you should know and do before you die if you're a Mavericks fan.
That's fun.
Also, I would argue that even non-Mavericks fans would enjoy this as well.
So glad we got the SB Nation thought out of the way. I want to get to the real stuff. These NBA playoffs, like most NBA playoffs, have been bonkers from buzzer beaters to incredible team performances. What are some of your big takeaways over these first nearly 2 rounds now?
Yeah, no, it's been it's been as exciting as always. I definitely think that it's for one, it's a good reminder just how good of a place the sport is in. We've seen stars on all sorts of teams. We've seen budding stars. People like Donovan Mitchell have been going off, and we've seen Giannis Antetokounmpo. We've seen the Boston team, even without Kyrie Irving, they've had Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, just kind of clear through, presumably 2 rounds of the Eastern Conference playoffs here, and probably headed to a Cleveland matchup. And I think that's all, just a very good sign that there's so much young talent, there's so much entertaining and exciting young players and people, and that this sport's really, really in a good spot. That said, I think the other big takeaway is that, at least for now, LeBron still runs it, and, we'll see what happens with Golden State and Houston as they play in the conference finals. But, I think that for now, it kind of looks like Golden State still runs this league. So, if we were to get another Cavaliers Warriors finals, I think at this point, nobody would be surprised. And also, I think that, there might be a little bit of, fatigue from that type of stuff.
Sure.
But, that's also, they're once again, those are the best 2 teams. And I think at some point in the near future, that's going to shift around and change a little bit. But it's definitely a team run by, the superpowers at the top once again. Yeah. And I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. But I do think that's clearly the message we've been sent.
And everybody's already talking about the Warriors and Rockets series. It's been kind of the thought since about midway through the year that those 2 teams meet, and there's so much excitement for it. Does it come down to James Harden and Chris Paul versus the Warriors' Big Four, or is there more to it with these 2 teams? I
would say there's a little bit more to it. I think that Houston, especially with Mike D'Antoni coaching them, they're very well known for offense. We all know about how many threes they shoot. That is a sensational defensive team, just what Houston can do. They truly, in Utah was, has always been never, with Mitchell as their leading guy and not really many shot creators around him, Utah was always a little bit limited as an offense, but they absolutely dominated Utah for stretches and even entire games. And I think that, that Houston defense with James Harden and with Chris Paul and with, hopefully one more player, probably Eric Gordon, and then, Clint Capella doing his usual work on the glass and, inside. I think that if all those people kind of live up to expectations or live up to what they were in the regular season, that this will be a really tight series and really fun and really enjoyable.
I don't know if there's a player in these playoffs whose career benefits more than Chris Paul. We're talking about one of the all-time great point guards. People call him the point god, but now finally he is in the Western Conference Finals. To what extent do you think the perception of Chris Paul changes after these past playoffs?
I think it definitely depends on what happens, in this coming series against the Warriors, because, sure, he hasn't been to a conference final, but, it's very good. I think it was good to see Twitter, just be really happy for him.
That's a rarity.
As they kind of did that, and I know, right? And, once everybody just kind of agreed, hey, we can be happy for this guy. And especially the way he did it, where he just took over. Right. But I think that he has to keep it going. I think that, doesn't necessarily have to win, but I think it would go a long way towards his, career, just the way he's remembered as a player, if he can, really have a sensational conference finals here. And if they lose because the Warriors are just better, people will understand that to a degree. Maybe not everyone, but, I think most people will get it, at least the smart fans. But I definitely think that he does need to be really good in these finals, and it does need to show out. And obviously, Houston needs him to be that good too.
Tim, I'm going to throw out some possible scenarios to you, and I want you to tell me which one of these is more likely. So I'll put two out there, and you tell me which one of these is more likely to happen. First one, the Houston Rockets win the NBA championship, or Kanye West wins a Grammy for Best Country Album. Which one of those is more likely?
You know what? A month ago, I would have probably gone with the Rockets, but at this point, I think anything is possible with Kanye. So let's just say Kanye, because I respect his musical genius. Putting aside the whole last month where he's been a little off the rails. I think that he's very good at making music, and if he put his mind to it, I bet he could do it.
Yeah, forgetting about the whole last month is probably a good idea. You're right, though. I mean, what he's done, he makes hip-hop, but each album's a little bit different, and you can argue that it may not even be hip-hop at times. It's something even bigger. So I could see that. Okay, so Kanye winning a Grammy for Best Country Album is more likely. How about this one? The Boston Celtics beating the Cleveland Cavaliers, or Danny DeVito starring in a movie about an NBA player. Which one is more likely?
I will go with Boston, because Boston winning, just because, it's not even that I don't see the Danny DeVito thing happening. It's just like I don't want it to.
Yeah.
So this is me reaching out. If any Hollywood producers are listening to this podcast, I'm sure all of them do. Please don't do that. Please. Nobody needs that.
We've had a few right in with our catchphrases in the beginning. So yes, Hollywood producers, please don't do that. Nobody wants to see Danny DeVito play an NBA player in a movie. How about this one? The Golden State Warriors get swept, or a meteor destroys planet Earth by the time this podcast airs on Friday. Which one of those is more likely?
I'm leaning towards the meteor, but you know what? It could happen. What's more likely, the meteor hitting, or all four Warriors getting hurt because they all ran into each other at practice? So we'll go for the injury thing, just to be optimistic, about the whole humanity thing. But it's a toss-up. I'd say it's a toss-up.
I would say the only possible way with the Warriors, and I think the injury at practice is a good thought, if they had like a Bobby Portis, Nikola Mirotic type situation where they got in a fight, and two of them, let's say Draymond and Kevin Durant, break the noses of Thompson and Curry, so yet two getting suspended and two being injured. I think that's the only possible scenario that they get swept.
Oh man, that would be the sports story of the century. Well, until the meteor hits on Friday. At least.
Tim, my last question for you, and thanks again for jumping on the podcast. This one's a bizarre one. I asked sports guy DC Ackerman, who, by my knowledge, you've never met but will star on the same podcast with, if you could get a couples massage with an athlete, who would it be and why? And I've not prepped you for this, so this is off the cuff right now.
You know what? I got to go with the old staple. I got to go with Dirk Nowitzki. I'm a Dallas-based guy, and I know Dirk a little bit over the years, through the book and some other things. But man, that would be a enlightening experience, I feel like, and he would make some real solid jokes, because he has a really self-deprecating sense of humor as it is, and the fact that he would be getting a couples massage with Tim Cato, very unimportant sports writer, I think that would really bring out his best qualities right there. So, I think that's my final answer.
I would like to see a massage table long enough to fit 6'11" Dirk Nowitzki, like in a normal massage parlor. Do you have a joke that stands out in your mind as something that he said that you really found funny? I know in general he's just a really funny, good guy.
Yeah. He often, if he gets a good block, or if he kind of dunks, he'll be like, usually like block, if he'll get a good block, he's like, yeah, it's only because it was a white guy, you're just like, no way I would have been, and then sometimes he's like, when he does dunk, he's just like, yeah, me and my 5-inch vertical got all the way up there. So, he's just like, he understands that he is not the most athletic fellow, stuff like that. There's a lot of good ones, but, a lot of them involve his athleticism, which is, not quite what it used to be, and even what it used to be is not quite, LeBron James level.
Tim, thanks a ton for jumping on the podcast. Remind people where they can find you on the internet.
Yeah, SBNation.com, slash NBA, not splash. If you want to go straight to our NBA homepage, and then on right, and then on Twitter at Tim_Cato, Cato.
Awesome. Tim Cato from SB Nation. Thanks for jumping on the podcast. That was Completely Serious, brought to you by Public House Media. We will talk with you in 2 weeks.